Keep supporting our content. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need your support. Imagine a house that has stood through wars, celebrated victories, mourned losses, and watched history unfold from its very windows. A house where every wall has heard the voices of presidents, foreign leaders, heroes, and sometimes ghosts. It's the most famous address in America, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. For over 200 years, the White House has been more than just the home of the President of the United States. It has been the nerve center of American politics, a symbol of democracy, and a stage for the greatest moments in U.S. history. But behind the elegant columns and pristine white facade lies a story of fire, rebuilding, secret tunnels, fierce debates, lavish dinners, and quiet moments of reflection. This is the Untold. The story begins in 1790, when Congress passed the Residence Act, establishing Washington, D.C. as the new capital of the United States. President George Washington, though he never lived in the White House, personally oversaw the selection of the site. In 1792, an Irish-born architect named James Hoban won a design competition for the new presidential mansion. Inspired by neoclassical styles from Europe, Hoban envisioned a grand yet graceful home for America's leader. Construction began that same year, with workers, many of them enslaved African Americans, laying the cornerstone in October. It would take 8 years of labor before the mansion was ready. In 1800, John Adams became the first president to live there, moving in during the last year of his term. His wife, Abigail Adams, famously hung laundry to dry in the unfinished East Room. When Thomas Jefferson took office in 1801, he brought his own vision. Jefferson was a man of ideas, an inventor, a gardener, an architect at heart. He expanded the house, adding colonnades and landscaping the grounds. He opened the White House to public visitors, starting the tradition of the People's House. Jefferson believed the White House should be a cultural center for America, a place of music, art, and open debate. The War of 1812 brought the White House's first major trial. In August 1814, British troops marched into Washington and set fire to the presidential mansion. The building's interior was gutted, its walls blackened. Legend says First Lady Dolly Madison refused to leave until she saved Gilbert Stuart's portrait of George Washington. That painting still hangs in the White House today. After the fire, James Hoban was brought back to lead the reconstruction, restoring the White House to its former glory. By the mid-19th century, the White House had been redecorated in the ornate, heavy style of the Victorian era. Gas lighting, plumbing, and eventually electricity were introduced. During Abraham Lincoln's presidency, the White House became a center of wartime decision-making. Lincoln spent many nights in his second-floor office, writing speeches and letters by candlelight. It's said his ghost still wanders the halls, especially the Lincoln bedroom. In 1902, Theodore Roosevelt decided the White House needed modernization. He hired the architectural firm McKim, Mead and White to restore the building to a more classical style and to expand the workspace. This renovation created the West Wing, home to the Oval Office and the President's staff. The White House was no longer just a residence. It was a fully functioning political command center. By the late 1940s, the White House was literally falling apart. Floors creaked dangerously, and during one event, a leg of the president's piano broke through the floor. In 1948, President Harry Truman approved a complete gutting of the interior. Workers built a new steel frame inside the original exterior walls. When Truman returned in 1952, the White House looked the same on the outside, but inside, it was entirely new. The White House has been the setting for countless historic moments. Franklin D. Roosevelt's fireside chats during the Great Depression, the Cuban Missile Crisis meetings under John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon's resignation in 1974, the signing of landmark bills from the Civil Rights Act to healthcare reforms beneath the white House lies a network of tunnels, bunkers, and secure rooms. The most famous is the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, a fortified bunker used during crises. There are also rumors of secret passageways, hidden elevators, and even escape routes, details the Secret Service never fully reveals. Today, the White House consists of the executive residence, where the president and family live, the West Wing, offices, cabinet room, situation room, the East Wing, First Lady's offices, visitor entrance. The grounds, including the Rose Garden and South Lawn. It is both a home and a workplace, balancing the personal life of the president with the demands of the job. More than just a building, the White House is a symbol of American power, democracy, and history. It has survived wars, fires, and political storms. Every president leaves their mark, but the House remains a constant in a changing nation. From its cornerstone in 1792 to its role today as the epicenter of U.S. leadership, the White House has been a witness to over 2 centuries of American history. It has seen triumph and tragedy, hope and crisis, but through it all it has stood, proud, white, and unshakable. When you see it on the news or in person, remember, you're looking at more than a home. You're looking at the heart of a nation,